So I've always been very, very passionate to follow and learn about some of the women who are shaping our industry. In fact, I hosted an event a few years ago. I say a few years, about 10 years ago, which was all about this same subject. But I thought there was nobody better to talk to than Rachel about the people in our sector now who are really making a difference, the women who are making a difference. So, first of all, Rachel Young, thank you ever so much for agreeing to chat with me today. It's great to see you.
No, Graham, thank you, and it's an absolute pleasure. It's not. I've always
Thank you.
been a huge fan of what you do with LFX, really bringing people together. So it's a pleasure to be back here and to be able to share with you.
Thank you. Much appreciated. So let's get going. So can we talk about the start of your career, please, Rachel? When you look back, in the early days of your career, what were the moments, what decisions did you make that when you look back have really shaped you today?
Wow, it's a long way to look back, many, many, many years, and I think I'm going to classify that as in kind of two blocks, Graham. I'm going to classify it into probably dark times
Yeah.
that's really shaped me from now. And also, I'm going to say sliding door moments.
Okay.
So, you know the movie Sliding Doors?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So, when it's almost like I've had opportunities that I didn't want to do, or things that I didn't want to do, but I've gone, okay, I'm going to do it. Those are
Mm.
the ones that sort of changed my life, shaped me for today.
Yeah.
Um, and really, when I kind of look back, it's the cab rides before an event, it's the
Mhm.
workouts before an event, it's the people that you meet randomly on route that have absolutely shaped me and
Yeah.
really made me understand the value of the value even more of people.
Mm.
Was that a bit vague for you, or was that okay?
No, absolutely not. When you talk about, great example, the taxi rides, etc. Is that I have a colleague, Denise Hampson, who works in behavioural science, and she often talks about cup of tea moments, those little conversations. And you've just mentioned a taxi. Is that the kind of thing that you're alluding to?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
So whenever I go, I always play full out in what I do. So if I go to, I don't know, an event or a meeting or anything, if it's in a club, I want to go and walk the floor. I want to go and feel it and
yeah,
experience it. So I guess my cab moments would be, getting a lift to a show with somebody random in a taxi and that
yeah.
you end up talking to and building the relationships.
Mm,
I went to an event in Portugal a few years ago. Met a guy that I'd never met before, and we were like, "What are you doing tomorrow morning? Need a workout? Let's go on a bike ride." Went
yeah.
on a bike ride before the show started, and he's become let's honor from he's at Fitness Time in Saudi now. He
Mm,
was in Turkey. He's becoming a really good friend. So those sort of moments are really crucial. And there's sometimes those things that I really didn't want to do when when you push the envelope and put yourself into a maybe a vulnerable position and actually take the risk.
yeah. What sort of risk? Give me an example, please.
So what sort of risk is almost a fear of failure. So if there was
Ah,
people
okay, yeah,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't think would want to listen to me, or people that I thought might not want to talk to me, I
Mm,
was just bold and
mm,
always, I said, not arrogant in any way, but I just thought, I always think that you can't let the sun set. I would much prefer to end a conversation going, I've done what I need to do and feel at peace with myself,
yeah,
than what if.
yeah.
So it's that when you be much easier to not do something, but then you actually take the steps and do it. And I've
Mm,
been asked, like a prime example is I was asked to speak in an event in Dubai, and I really didn't want to do it. So it was last minute, really didn't want to do it. And I'll tell you the truth, I was hungry. So when they came over to me, they said, somebody's dropped out of the panel. Would I like to get involved? And I was like, oh, I was hungry and I didn't want to do it. And the little voice in my head, and I was tired. Don't tell
yeah,
anyone I get tired. And the little voice in my head said, go on, just do it. And I was so close not to, and I did it. And that really changed my life in so many different ways because I went to the panel and it was a women's panel.
Yeah.
I listened to incredible people from across kind of the Middle East regions talking about their experiences. And then from that was able to connect with some incredible humans who just helped, I guess, change my perspective, elevate me. And it's those kind of those sliding door moments. It would
Those
have been very
decisions.
easy
Yeah.
for me not to go. It
Yeah.
would have been very easy for me not to go and talk to people afterwards. I see that Shadden's on this call, and she was one of the people that I went to speak to after this panel. And I actually thought she wasn't going to want to talk to me. So I
Mm.
kind of went up to her and I nearly spoke to her. And I thought, oh no. And then something made me go back. And then from that, I've got kind of probably one of the best, my 7 minute friend, because we spoke for 7 minutes. Got a really good friendship. I've been to Saudi Arabia many times.
Yeah.
And that door opened for me to kind of expose me to new cultures, new opportunities.
Mm. Okay. You still there, Rachel? Can you
I'm
still?
still here.
Oh, sorry. When you stopped, then I thought, oh no, we've got a technical issue. I do
No, I
apologise.
thought it was your turn. I feel like I'm speaking a lot. Your turn,
That's the
Graham.
idea.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask you though, in the early days of your career, was the industry a place where women could naturally lead, or did you have to work hard to not just you, but have women had to work really hard
Yeah.
to
Um,
claim that?
I think, okay, great question. Looking back, okay, at the time,
Mm,
I thought it was okay. But actually looking back, it wasn't. You had to hustle. And you still have to hustle. It was it's a really tough place where you have to put yourself forwards. It's sometimes, and we still see it now. It's incredibly male dominated.
yeah,
Almost jobs for the boys in some circumstances, and you have to push yourselves forwards and speak up. If you'd have said to me 30 years ago, you're going to be talking about women and leadership, I'd go, not on your life. There was no way I would ever be doing that because I didn't want to be part of a group. I didn't want to be doing that. But actually, I'm compelled to do it now because there really is a need. Um, and there is a need for, when I'm saying that it was a hustle and it is a
mm,
hustle. That said, had some incredibly really good, great guys that have helped lift me up. And they actually probably don't appreciate that. But if they hadn't looked after me in early days, going, yeah, go on, youngster, you can do
yeah,
this,
yeah.
um, I would have not done it. So it's not a man thing or a woman thing. It's
No,
like
no, no,
how do
no.
we collectively inspire women in leadership, women full stop, and lift them up.
Mm,
And the reason I do it is I don't really want people to feel like I did, Graham. So early days, looking back, I thought the fitness industry I felt like I'd kind of found somewhere I belonged. It felt kind of home, but there was something that just didn't sit right. So we're not the snuggly wuggly sector that we think we are. We've got the opportunity just to be so much better
yeah,
for everybody.
yeah. Fair point. And were there any women that shaped your? You mentioned there were some good men who perhaps supported you and encouraged you, but what about women? Are there any women that you worked with in your early career, Rachel, that or now, who really
Yeah.
have left their mark? They've said things or made you feel in a certain way that you've never forgotten.
Yeah, I think that I can't answer that question without saying my mum
Okay.
because I'm going to add some more to it. But
Yeah.
look, my mum was a handful, as you can imagine, but she was incredibly sort of forward thinking in the way she was. So looking back, she studied dentistry. She was the only woman in her year to graduate and was the first woman to become a dentist through the university. And
Yeah.
then she would also tell me about the hard times that she had. So she had to fight to get to uni. She didn't have the best of times there. And then when she qualified, she wasn't good enough to go to a dental surgery. They stuck her out into she was going out into the community projects.
Mm.
So I guess when I look back, the journey that my mum has had, I can see that that's within me, that kind of just, just do it.
Yeah.
Um, but then when I turn to the fitness world, I've got to say that I get Elaine Jobson was probably one of the most early days, Elaine Arnold, early days of fitness first time. Um, Now CEO of Jetson,
Yeah.
owns Jets. Really inspiring leader, because she taught me the value of people. Absolutely the value of people. She taught me that, if I could go back, in fact, I could probably recite all the things that she taught me, but the value of time and how precious time is and how that's the most valuable thing that you can give to people. And I
Mm.
think that's kind of what made me even more people focused, in terms of business, leadership, and that everybody's a leader. Whether you treat everybody the same, whether it's the CEO or the guy in the car park. I believe that people deserve that
Yeah.
kind of respect.
Yeah. I think there's a great. I saw a video once, and it was a guy who was a janitor at a football stadium in the USA. And somebody asked him what his job was, and he said he was preparing whichever team it was to win the Super Bowl. And actually,
Yes.
in with the greatest respect, he was a cleaner, but that was the culture of the team and the club itself, and I thought that was fantastic. And so
Yeah.
so
Everybody's got something to give, right?
yeah,
Irrespective of their
absolutely.
role. If you understand them and they buy into the journey or the vision and you make them feel special, uh, they'll come with you. People will
Mm,
go over the top with you.
yeah, definitely.
And that's
So
what I think over the years, Graham, what I've really learned is the value of my relationships or friendships,
mm,
because the value of trust and how important authenticity is in any kind of relationship, be it business or just in life. I know we talk about trust as a standard, but trust is something that's really really crucial.
yeah. Okay, this room that we're in is probably full of women who are entrepreneurs and a few guys as well. So thank you to those who've joined us. But I'm sort of putting you on the spot now with this, but are there other two or three women in the sector right now who you think are really moving things forward and that we should keep an eye on them, you know?
There are absolutely, and I'm going to go for more than two or three, and I'm going to go kind of outside of the UK as well, because I think it's
Yeah,
important that
absolutely.
you just go and reach.
Yeah.
Um, right now, well, clearly I've mentioned Elaine as a kind of a role model. She's doing incredible things. Dr. Lou, do you know Lou Atkinson, in
Yeah.
terms of what she's doing in bridging the gap between physical activity and the GLP-1,
Mhm.
based on behavioral change, and it's really incredible what she is doing. Uh, and actually, all of these ladies that I'm going to mention, they do incredible things, but they almost fly below the radar. So anything that I can do on this call with everyone to elevate them, or for you to connect or reach out, I think it's important too.
Mm.
I've got a little note here to write
Yeah,
myself.
brilliant.
Steffi Bryant, Steffi from Keep Me. She's El Presidente now, which
Yeah.
is really, really exciting. Listen to a podcast that she did. She's really moved herself up the ranks and done incredibly well.
Mm.
Um, my 7 minute friend Shadan, the work that she does in Saudi Arabia, not just in operations or in club world, but for women in sport, in leadership, fitness and health, everything.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to say, can I have a few more?
Yeah, yeah. I hope everybody's writing these down
I
because
hope everyone's listening. Is there
I,
anyone here, Graham? I can't see it. I can only see you.
yeah, yeah. There are
Okay.
quite a few people here, Rachel. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And then Michelle Dand. what she's doing
Oh yeah,
for
fantastic.
women's health in the David Lloyd clubs, and all of these things are not easy, Graham.
No,
It's really hard work to get anything to push it forwards and keep the momentum going.
yeah.
Michelle Dan, what she does with David Lloyd, professionally, personally, she kind of helped me out a couple of months ago. Um, and I know that some of the ladies that are kind of on the front line in gym operations, if
Mm.
anybody's listening here, you change people's lives and you have an impact. Um, so there's yeah.
And there are lots of those.
Wait, I've got some more because I've been out on the road and I've been thinking not so long ago I went to the new Matrix office in
Oh yeah,
Reading.
Reading.
I
Yeah.
don't do a lot in the UK, but it's really nice
Mm.
to get out and see it. Well, that was really fantastic, and I got to see Lynn Wilson was there,
Yeah.
and she always blows me away. Her kind of
Energy.
approach to education,
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
changing lives, almost flies below the radar.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, can I have two more?
Yeah, of course.
Uh, Ellie Colvin, what
Yeah.
they're doing with the app. Love that. What's it? HR.
Yeah, so Kat's with us today, who's
Oh, I
Ellie's
know.
business
Kat, you
partner.
as well. This is
Thank,
honestly brilliant.
thank
I
you so
loved looking at that. There you go. I loved seeing that about, the way that you're so direct about not ticking the boxes. That's a really important thing. It's not about ticking boxes. So what you're doing is, I want to spend more time in the UK so I can get under the bonnet of what
Mm,
people are really doing.
mm.
So hats off to you.
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
Kat, please put your email address in the comment, just in case anyone wants to. Because I'd advise you all to have a chat with Kat and Ellie about what they're doing. It's all around new people, which is Rachel's mantra anyway. So yeah, carry on,
Yeah.
Rachel. Sorry about that.
And then I heard on my travels.
Mm.
I was at an event and I heard somebody speak on a panel, and I stopped and it really turned my head because I was like, why are we not hearing more from you? And that was Fiona Cresswell,
Oh yeah,
who's
yeah, yeah,
who's doing some really incredible, great speaker.
yeah,
But and when I say a great speaker, just really authentic.
yeah.
So there is some incredibly good things going on. Someone's just flagged up. Inez as well. Inez is based in Kuwait, Qatar, Kuwait, and has developed an incredible app called One Fit Cloud. And I guess it's not about the product; it's the why behind it all. So I'm getting quite excited now. We've got some incredibly talented women doing some great things, and we all just need to kind of keep pulling together and collaborate to kind of get some good stuff done.
Was was that who was on the podcast with you and Jennifer?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I really
So
enjoyed that because it took me back to when I was learning about international marketing and she talked about how don't go into the Middle East unless you've researched and you understand the different cultures, and I thought it was brilliant advice, really good
it is,
advice.
and people say to me all the time, I'm going out to the, can you introduce me to so and so?
Yeah.
And I'll go, no, because I don't even know who you are. And it's my reputation
No.
and my kind of nuts on the line, for want of a
Yeah.
better phrase. So,
Yeah.
no. Uh, but yeah, you've got to be understanding to people, you've got to be understanding to the environment, and you really have to, I think that's what I've didn't realize I'd done, but looking back, I've really done is get under the bonnet of, you know, how businesses operate, what it feels like, what's it like to actually be a member, what's it like to, experience the experience. Sometimes in roles, I've sat around a decision makers table and everyone around the table has gone, right, we're going to do this. The end user will love this. And I'm sitting there with my operator's head, I'm going, not in your life. They've got no chance of liking that.
Yeah.
Or when's the last time you went into a club? So, you have to experience things firsthand. And I think for all of us as female entrepreneurs, you experience it, you get under the bonnet of it, and then you kind of bring it all to life.
Mm. So if a woman was starting out in our sector today, if she was at the beginning of her career, but wanted to, have an impact, build a profile, become well known, what habits would you encourage her to develop early to be the best that she can be?
Um, so I'm going to go back to my old mum, who did drive me mad, but had some immense value.
Mm.
She used to always say to me, "Remember who you are."
Yeah.
So I would say to anybody is just know who you are, and you have to look after yourself first. And women, we're not very good at this. We're very good at looking after everyone around us. You
Mm.
have to invest in yourself first to be the best version of you, to be able to kind of stand up and stand out. So I would also go, uh, it's really important to trust yourself. Make your own decision. And if it goes wrong, it was your decision. Get advice from people that have actually done it.
Yeah.
Out there are so many people that will say, we can give you advice, but they've not actually experienced it. I keep going back to my mum and dad. My old dad used to, he was always investing in the stock market badly, right? And he was always investing, but he said to me that as he got older, he said, when you want financial advice, you go to someone that's actually done it, experienced it, and got the end result. Perhaps not a financial advisor. Do you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
someone that's actually gone, actually, I've run a business, I've got the battle scars. So I'm saying reach out to people for help and don't be afraid to ask the question.
Mm.
We've got, I'm going to talk about the collective. We've got a great network, probably 400 women in it now from across the globe. And the agenda is there's no agenda. I love that. There's no agenda. You can just put anything in the chat about I want a bit of help. I'm in this, so it's
Yeah.
all about, connecting with great people
Yeah.
and lifting them up. Um,
Rachel, can I ask you a question? Quick question. Do you think fitness has got a little bit too serious?
yeah, 100%. I then put specifically in the UK.
Mm.
And that's why, and I do love fitness. I love it, and I kind of it irritates me. I love the sector. But particularly in the UK, I think we've turned into Middle Earth,
Yeah.
and that's why my interest over the last probably four years has always been more in European countries than out into the Middle East, because the appetite for change, the appetite over tech, the appetite on parity or gender parity.
Yeah.
You want to see what good looks like right now? Go to Saudi Arabia. You'd be astounded by what's happening in with women in sport. The pay gap. Go to speak to someone there and ask about the gender pay gap, and they'll go, "The what?"
Really?
It's incredible. So yeah, we've probably got too serious, and I think we're very good at talking a talk and not walking it.
Mm.
So I think that I'm not the yeah, lighten up but be professional. Enjoy yourself, but let's get some stuff done.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
And that's the really, really important thing.
Yeah.
If I could go back, Graham, if I could rewind to me starting my journey again, I've no idea how I've managed to get to where I am now, and I'm very proud of it. But
Mm.
mainly it's from failing. So if I'd say to you, it's the sliding door moments or the dark times, it's when I've made great big mistakes that I think, or something's happened that I didn't want to happen, and I think, oh, this will never work out.
Yeah.
But actually, all of those things have taken me down the path to get to where I am today. And I'm actually really proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It shapes you, doesn't it? I mean, it's a bit weird if you don't make any mistakes, I think. It's
I
really,
make so many, Graham.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Sometimes twice.
Yeah. But and every time you kick yourself and think, why didn't I learn that, last time? But
Yeah.
and you mentioned earlier, I must say this to everybody really. I one of my frustrations, is when we talk about when people advise you on things and like you said, somebody will give you some advice and they've never actually done the thing that they're advising you on.
Yeah.
And I get it a lot from people who tell me how I should run my business. You know what you should do. And I think, have you ever done that? Um,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
that's really wise words and valid. You've got to take it from someone who,
who's been there?
yeah, and don't be afraid to ask for it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Now,
No,
I'm not very good at asking for help, and not so long ago, I mentioned Michelle earlier. I needed a bit of help, and I just said to her, "Can you give me a bit of help and a bit of advice?" And she was like, "Sure, no problem."
yeah,
Uh, So let's just all be a little bit more kind of open to helping each other out. And I'm pretty excited about of where we're at. I appreciate you said the sector's losing its fun, but actually the sales numbers coming through the door, I don't think have ever been any higher because I think the consumer are now even more. We were expecting it to happen a lot quicker after COVID, but the consumers right now are really more health savvy.
yeah,
Um, whole holistic health savvy. So we need to, as a sector, stop talking, start walking, and embrace and lift this up. We've got to get more people moving. I was put on this planet to get more people moving. I don't care how they move. I care that they move.
yeah. Me too. Rachel, thank you. Has anyone any questions for Rachel? Now's a great opportunity for you if you have. Don't be shy.
Yeah,
Graham, can I
mate.
say something? Sorry, I haven't got my camera on. But-
Kathy Hind,
Oh,
we aren't related, and in fact, I'll tell you all a funny story once. We were both at an event and checking into a hotel, weren't we, Kathy? And Kathy was before me in the queue at reception and said to the guy. The guy then took my name and he said, "Oh, are you sharing a room? I take it you're sharing a room." And Kathy said, "Oh no," and he still assumed we were together. You see, Kathy said, "Oh no, I don't want to share with him." And this poor young guy on reception, oh right, let me see. And I had to correct him. So I thought you deserved that introduction, Kathy, because I've owed you that for quite a few years. Anyway,
thank you. And you had a little cell room, didn't you, Graham? I remember as well.
a little what?
Cell room.
Oh, it was
As
awful.
deserved.
It was awful. Anyway, Kathy, over to you.
My question to you, it's sort of a bit of a double question, Rachel, really. I think it was a title, Female Entrepreneur, and I wondered how you saw yourself. Do you see yourself as an entrepreneur who is female, or are you a female entrepreneur? And the nuance to me, it kind of does matter, perhaps in a way. And it just made me think about that. And my other question was, as a female, do you think you see the fitness space differently through your lens and vision than perhaps a male does with as a female, we've got your anatomy, you're seeing it through a female body, you're seeing it through female eyes, how you would use it and stuff like that. So it's just around, it was kind of that, a sort of a bit of a woolly double bitty
Uh,
question, but
okay, two great questions. I think for the first one, I see myself as just a decent human. And
mm,
that I can't answer the female entrepreneur. All I want to do is just be a kind of a great human and lift people up. I think the woman, the female side of it would come first because clearly clearly I am, and that's what I've learned to be proud of over the years through experiences. And then kind of commercially, that would always come second. So first, I would go good human, female, trying to conquer the world. The
Love it.
second one, definitely. We have to look at the industry differently. There's
mm,
not a one size fits all approach at all. Women do things for different reasons. We don't just want a cheap price. What we want to do is we want to have maybe results-based training. We want to feel part of a community. We want a sense of belonging. Yes, everybody does, but women, the whole women health wellness is a totally different ballgame. A million years ago, Kathy, I had the pleasure, probably ahead of its time, of working with some women-only clubs. And
Mhm.
I was moving from male clubs to women clubs, and I was moving from like 100 clubs to 10. And I
Yeah.
thought, I know everything. I'm going to look great because I've got it all sorted. I went in there, and it took me a couple of months to wrap my head around what the biggest challenge was. And the biggest challenge was understanding that it was a male-run business, basically from the very top,
Right.
looking after women. So that's why I
But
said where
the
it is
audience,
right.
yeah, was
It's and this is, I want to be really clear. This is not a women thing or a guy thing. It's how do we all collaborate more to make things better. How did I do? Did I answer that?
no, you did, you did. It's just something I think about quite often because I sometimes think we're all using the same space, but I also think we use things differently, and it's something I think that will continue to evolve, and I think it's just how fitness spaces are changing so much. I feel
Yeah, and
anyway,
and
but
to your point on spaces, you can go. I
yeah.
think with experience, you can go into a club or an environment and know
Mhm.
who's designed it.
Right, yeah,
Particularly with
yeah,
fitness equipment, you know the layout, or I
Mm,
can tell that the buyer for that company will be a man,
mm,
particularly in their women's clubs. Not that they're doing anything wrong, they're just not doing it right.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
Missing
Thank you,
opportunities.
thank you.
Could I add to that? I think something I've noticed is the male domination of paddle. And I've got examples, friends who female friends who've been to play paddle. I mean, the only women in the place. And I see, and then there's some good practice going on where for example, Soul Paddle are doing all sorts of stuff for families, for women.
Yeah.
It's a really good mix. But Kathy, I think, has brought up an interesting point there that it's almost as though some things are really marketed very much towards men, and women are a bit of an afterthought. And I'm saying that as a man, so it embarrasses me at times, and that the paddle thing does already. It's
Yeah.
you look on LinkedIn, you look on anywhere, and it's all men. It's
Yeah.
very few women. The ones who
If
are,
you
you
sorry to you
no,
think
go on.
you're right, and I'm doing some working for myself now, which is
Yeah,
much fun and frightening. Um, and some of the projects I'm involved with, I'm looking at websites. Where would I go first to learn more about this business? You look at their website, and when you look at the language or its structure is so almost makes my teeth itch.
yeah.
Before you've even I would tap out before I've even started because it can be so you know
Mm,
so male
mm,
dominated, and it just needs to be potentially a bit more generic, right? A bit more generic and a bit
yeah.
more considered, and authentic. It's the sometimes as well. I mean, something I'm really fascinated by is on a website. I love the meet the team page. Okay,
Why? Tell
that's
me
the
why.
first place I'll go to.
Right.
Um, and it like, what do they look like? Are they all branded? Da, 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 da. Or are they all guys?
Mm,
And when a company is saying to me, "Oh, we need to engage with more women. Can you help us?" Or can you kind of sense check the business? When you look at that it's not wrong, but it's actually how do we make that better?
mm, yeah, I have to agree.
And to your paddle point, that's the same everywhere, Graham. In any, it's most sports. I'm going to go. It's male dominated. Look at our professional sports teams in the UK and the journey that's had to have. And I had the pleasure of visiting a friend at Loughborough University who'd come over from Saudi to a sporting event where
Yeah.
they were talking about women's sport, and it's just incredible the difference in pay across the regions and also.
Mm,
I'm going to ramble, but sport and fitness in the UK is kind of here, but we don't talk to each other. It's a massive void to fill. In somewhere like Saudi Arabia or GCC, it's so much closer because they have sporting federations for each sport. There's still a gap, but they're trying really hard to bridge that gap.
Right. Very interesting. Any other questions from anybody? Great opportunity.
I had a question, Rachel. It's kind of linked to what we've just been talking about there with male-dominated industries. So obviously, I've kind of had two hats. I've got the role at Les Mills, so in the fitness industry, which we know is very male-dominated, and then working with Ellie, we find ourselves at a lot of tech events, so also very male-dominated. And it's quite a selfish question, really, because Ellie and I are raising investment at the moment, and the stats around investment going to females is shocking. And we keep finding ourselves saying, well, a man would do that. We should say that because that's what a man would say. And I guess my question is, to that point, would you advise that we be more male in some of these kind of conversations, or is there more benefit in us leaning into the feminine and being more female? Because it's quite a tricky one to navigate.
That's a great question to someone who tried incredibly hard to raise money themselves many years ago. And what I realized is that this is a boiler room face. It's not a fundraising face. It took me a long time. I get stuff done. So if I was going to market now to raise money, I would make sure that you've got the right person, be it male or female, presenting your product for the sole purpose of raising investment, because that's kind of what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say don't change.
Mm-hmm.
You are who you are, and you are your business. It's everyone else that needs to change. But I love your question.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you.
But raising money is one. I should write a book on it. I was so bad at it. It was incredible. And what I did was I took all my business plans to all these different people to try and raise money, and they loved my business plan, but they would take it away and went, yeah, thanks, no. So there's quite a few of my concepts out there. But I learned a lot from it. So when I said in the beginning, it's all about making mistakes, that was a big mistake. I wouldn't try and raise it on my own. I'd also say to you, Kat, that there's get in touch with the group in the collective, because we could probably help. There's a lot of people that want to invest, and kind of speak to me as well. There's people that approach me saying, I'm buying a business, I'm selling my business, I want to do, and I'd be always happy to help connect you. Just don't ask me to raise the funds.
No, thank you. That's great. Yeah, really helpful.
Great question, Kat. Thank you for that.
I have a wee question, if you don't mind. Hi, Rachel.
There she is.
Hi, Fiona.
Hiya. What is the best way to coach yourself to overcome imposter syndrome? Because as you say, when you're put on that giant stage and everybody's listening to you, I sit and go, oh my actual God. And I have to be so prepared. Whereas actually then I don't end up looking at notes like what you said at the start of the call, because it just scatters your brain, but I panic. So
Yeah.
That's one of the questions. And then also more related to the subject matter there. What is the best way to gain that trust and respect for a new innovation in this marketplace?
So I'm going to say that you need to get advice from a pro, really, imposter syndrome, because I'm really good at sharing it, but I'm no good at with myself. And I think that's a woman thing anyway. We're very good at offering advice. I'm very lame. It's not lame. It's not my area of expertise at all. So reach out for some help. I think Pinky's just put in the chat that she'd have a chat with you, Fiona.
Thanks, thank you.
I think but as not an expert, I'm going to say, trust yourself and believe that when I walked past your panel in Dubai, I was walking past and I knew there's good content going on, and I heard you speak. That's what made me stop. I came back to listen to you, Fiona, and I think that's the self-belief. It's the trust, and just know you don't need to change. Just be you. The worst thing anyone's going to say to you is no.
Thank you.
Fiona, there's a really good book you might want to read. It's called Alter Ego. And it touches on, for example, Beyonce and people like that who literally have, what was hers? Sasha Fierce, wasn't it? And so as she was approaching the stage, she would become Sasha Fierce, and completely different person, you know. And but Alter Ego is a brilliant book if you, because I recommend it because I've read it because I know how it feels, you know.
Yeah.
And I think if you can almost in all your preparation, because preparation is key. It's funny, I in order to get better at what I do in hosting events and things, I did a stand-up comedy course, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done
My gosh.
because you had to make people laugh, not and literally do it with no notes, and so it's all about rehearsal. But the book Alter Ego is definitely, I'd recommend it to anyone that has that imposter syndrome. And I think it was Stephen, what's his name, off Dragon's Den, who said, if you don't suffer from imposter syndrome, you're in the wrong room. So I think if you look at it like that, it's quite a positive way of twisting it. But yeah,
And there's some important work to do on your personal beliefs and values, and in terms of identity, who you are. You know, when I was a kid and I was at school, I was always told that I would amount to nothing. I was never good enough. I And
yeah,
so when I get invited to talk to you with it on a title that's female entrepreneurs, I look at that and go, what, they want to listen to me?
yeah. But
Because
that's a
that
great.
thing will always be there. That stone in my shoe
Mm.
is always kind of at the back of my mind.
But can I add to that, Rachel? I was going to say, Fiona, as well, that if there's a big audience there, they're there because they want to listen to you. So, you know, you might be on a panel, but you could be the person they're really there for. And as Rachel, you know, the reason there's so many people with us today on a Friday afternoon is because people want to listen to Rachel. That's why you're here, Fiona. So I would sort of think about that differently and think, well, all these people want to hear what I've got to say. So here we go, you know.
Graham, I know this is your show, but I just
Mm.
want to say that I'm flicking through some of there are absolute ninjas on this call,
Yeah.
male, female, listening in, and it's an absolute pleasure to have them from, I'm going to say, all over the globe. I tell you what,
Yes.
this is funny. Catherine Fenton, there we go. Oh, another hero. Okay, Emma Waring.
Yes,
What she does for
absolutely.
what she does for fitness racing, getting more people moving is just amazing. And I was on a random run, as I do, pushing the boundaries in Hyde Park in the absolute rain a couple of
Mm.
weeks ago. It was a 5K run, and about 300 meters in, someone said to me, "Hey, Rachel, I know you." I think I'm in Hyde Park. It's in the dark in the rain. And it was Catherine, and she tried to talk to me, and I think we talked for about 100 meters. But then I was absolutely smashed. I couldn't, I run like a slug. But that's another thing, take the risk, get out your comfort zone, go and do something different, go for a run in Hyde Park. You never know who you might meet.
Exactly. And I tell you what, you
Absolutely.
don't forget meeting Kath Fenton, do you?
Not in the dark in
Yorkshire
Hyde Park.
lass.
I
Yeah.
had some bright coloured trainers on just to stand out even more as well. I had to buy them from the Adidas store because
Shock.
I'd left my trainers in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
But it was a fab event, and I do echo what you say about Emma. I think she's a real champion and supporter of people, and puts a platform there for people to do well. So yeah, Emma deserves a shout out as well.
Yeah, and just to show the power of this community, sorry, I'm going to do this again. You've got people from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Barnsley, Wigan, Warrington. This is
Everywhere.
fantastic.
Everywhere.
Connect with each other. That's how the world changes.
How do people get to be part of your group, your collective?
I think
Most
Lou
are.
might have just put something in the. Oh,
Oh,
Lou's
brilliant.
shared about her white paper.
If
Just
you
send me a chat,
if
send
you
me a
put your
WhatsApp, and
put
I'll
your numbers in this chat and we can then send a little link out.
Brilliant.
okay, I'll put yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to connect on WhatsApp, and be warned you'll get gifts.
Thank you. And thank you very much, Fiona, for your question. Rachel, any books or podcasts you can recommend to us?
So I'll tell
And
you
not
what, over
just
the
ones
years when
not just ones you're in.
okay. Oh, okay, no then. Yeah. Over the years I used to be given books. That was something great that Elaine would always do. She'd give you books.
Yeah.
And I loved the books. But I reckon I over the years I did years of shelf care. Because what I would do is I just got the books and I was like, ah, this is great. And I'd put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
I realized, the kid that wasn't going to be any good, never amount to anything, you can't do this. I realized that not that I couldn't read, but I'm really just easily distracted reading. So I
Mm.
got into podcasts and listening, and now I kind of get it. So I've gone back to revisit all of those books on podcasts, but sorry, Audible. But one thing really recently, and I think it's relevant to this conversation, would be Rebel Ideas by Matthew Syed.
Okay, yeah.
And it's all about the diversity of thinking. And I
Yeah.
think you'll find it's really interesting because he refers back to sport, the Bletchley code crackers. Um, it's really interesting. He talks about professional football, and just what a difference. The people that actually uh, broke the code
Mm.
in World War One, two, were actually the women, because the guys were looking at the code breaking, they couldn't work it out, and then some of the women, I've just ruined the book for you, but the women looked over the shoulders and realized that it was the girlfriend, the names of girlfriends. So
Wow.
that's a cracker. And
Yeah.
then one that's always by my bedside, and you're going to say I've got the pictures up of it in my house, and it's something that really has a massive impact on me. And Shadan's just shared it in the chat here. Is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah. Love that.
if you haven't read it, read it. Listen to his TED talk. I've forgotten Charlie Mackesy. He's so humble. It's all about being a great human. And you look at it and you say it's a kid's book. It's not a kid's book. It's absolutely gold.
Powerful, isn't it? Really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Rachel. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I knew I would, and
Well, even when I phoned you this morning and said I was sick.
do you know what she did? She left me a message and did that thing where you put on a voice that you sound ill. So I got a message. Graham, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to be able to do today. And you can imagine I'm thinking, oh no, so many people have registered. And then a pause and then, ha ha, didn't you? So, yeah, not a great start to the day, but a wonderful session. Thank you so much, Rachel. And thank you all for being with us today. This is the virtual club. And if your team members need to, every quarter we do sessions which focus on specific jobs, if you like. So we have an aquatics group, a fitness group, general management, etc., etc. And it just allows people that do those jobs, as Rachel said at the very beginning, the frontline people can get together from all over the world, basically, and talk about day-to-day issues and how they've been solved, etc. So it'd be wonderful if any of you wanted to contact me about that. Have a look
And
at.
Graham, I appreciate
Sorry.
this is your show, but thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for being so bold and showcasing something that is really important for the sector and for humans. You're a great guy. When I refer to guys
Thank you.
lifting people up, you are certainly one of them. It's been an absolute pleasure to be with you. And then
Thank
my
you.
one tip would be you get one chance. Everyone listening, go forth and be great humans.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.